Currently on Bridewell Place at a pub which is in trouble. The pub behind me, it's one of the few pubs like it. It's one of the few pubs in the City of London to still be privately owned. And there are plans from the City of London to completely get rid of all of this, to take all of this down and have new developments instead. And I'm sure you'll agree, as the office workers locally would agree, that that is an awful shame. Have a sit down for me, please, cameraman. So, as you can see here, we are currently fighting to save the pub from potential demolition. Please help us by scanning the QR code below to sign our petition. Getting rained on here, but, you know, dramatic effect and all that. Now, this pub, it's not like most pubs. Most pubs are made up of locals. That's who their punters would be. This pub's made up of office workers. So, you know, for instance, at the weekends, there's no reason for it to open because there's no one around here. Most people that know the City of London know that many of the City of London pubs are closed. And one of the things that the council or the government are asking of them or whoever sets up here is that it needs to be, I think he said, up to 17 hours a day. It was either 16 or 17 hours a day, 7 days a week, that this place is now going to be expected to be open. We spoke to the landlord, a really nice guy, and his wife, and they did agree previously to give us an interview, but because of how precarious this situation has become with the pub, I think it's best that we don't do that for their sake. And they were very appreciative of our attitude towards that. But we're still going to go in and have a look at it, but are we going to bother the staff? No, I don't think so. But this is why we're here today, because we're losing pubs left, right and centre, even in some of the incredibly wealthy areas. And he told me what they're thinking about replacing this place with will be a modern bar, just another, you know, wine gathering spot, if you like, lacking in culture. But in a minute, we'll have a look at the pub and you'll see it has a feel, it has this locals feel. It doesn't feel like a City of London pub, actually. And while I was in there, the landlord was addressing everyone by their name. I think that's very special. And today's bars are no different than Tesco to me. You don't recognise anyone in there, and you're just there to go up to the till and bugger off. You know, it's not like I could tell that he knows people in there. He knows their stories. He was talking to someone else at the table about their personal life, and despite being in the City of London, there is still that element of friendliness and family unit. It's a family-run pub. It's a husband and wife, and from my understanding, you know, they'll have to travel into work like most people that work in the city, whereas other people that own pubs, they will live above. You know, so very unique place, worth saving. Is the building behind me somewhat ugly? Yeah. It doesn't mean you can just get rid of pubs that mean something to people. They've been in quite a few papers, and that's where, among other places, we found them. And it highlighted to me and my cameraman that there's not many of the, like I said, there's not many of these pubs left in the City of London that aren't owned by breweries. So, you know, when you're dealing with normal people, and they have to face off with these multinationalist companies, it's just hard to believe that in today's world and the forming world that they're ever going to stand a chance. It's a shame. Have a little look at the bar. As you can see, as I said outside, it's a very quaint little building. very family orientated pub feel to it, despite it being in the City of London. The landlord said that they'd like to get it listed. Problem is, you need a series of factors to get a building listed, whether it's historical, cultural, or it's heavily important to the community. Because this location, it's mainly for workers, it might be difficult to get that through, highlighting that without not just the public locally, but I think that people nationwide should start to care about other people's pubs wherever they're from. After all, when I was in Manchester, when I was in Liverpool, wherever I've been, I care for these pubs, be they my locals or not, because they're a representation of not just us, but fascinating stories and fascinating history related to us. So I can't ask enough that people take note of fantastic little establishments like this. And it's got a true Scotch collection. So, from all of us, please think for yourself and think about places which might not be here tomorrow. Take care.